Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the FX Market Insight for Friday, the 12th of April. All right, now this is going to be one of the quieter Fridays we've had in a while, with no major US numbers expected. If anything, just some Eurozone industrial production numbers, probably the key release coming out. Now, just as you come into the Asian session here, there's not a huge amount to get focused on. Or there's not a lot to get excited about, I should say. The major currency pairs, you've got pretty much everything trading sideways. The Aussie, as of yesterday, this is a pretty good example actually of where the fundamentals and the technicals can collide. Technically, Aussie was pushing high yesterday, but overall, the fundamental outlook for the Aussie is down as far as the central bank is concerned. And, there's been a bit of mixed data, which has led to the Aussie going higher, a bit of US dollar weakness, but that didn't last very long, right? If I just hit refresh and you look at the setup for today, the Aussie has actually slipped back into the range and is now back with the rest of it, with the rest of the major crew, and that is actually just trading sideways. All right, so let's just have a look what's pushing the market around. Very important to understand the trading conditions and the core market drivers. So the market conditions, they're not bad. There's liquidity. The currencies are there, but there's just no major momentum in pretty much any of them at this stage. The core market drivers, and this is why, because the drivers at the moment are geopolitical, and they are a pain in the backside. All right, so then you come back down, you look at, okay, so what have we got going on here? If I just switch over to the charts, to give you a better look at how to sort of look at the day, you can see that, okay, here's the Aussie. This is the crazy crap price action. Look at that. A cheeky break to the top side, spent a good 12 or 16 hours up there, and then slowly drifted through, and now taking out the stops on the downside. It's just whipping back into the range. Kiwi's been trading sideways all week, and it has starting to look like it wants to go down again. But once again, there's no major momentum. We did have the US the weekly jobless numbers come out pretty strong, and the PPI numbers strong, but it's not enough to really break the shackles here. Meanwhile, dollar yen has had another little pop to the top side. Now, you can read into that whatever you like. It's whether it's a flight out of safety, whatever it is. I mean, the dollar's just popped there and a bit of flow. I can't really tell you why it's going high. The euro still banging around 112.5, and our good friend sterling around 113.5 after the EU gave the UK an extension of Brexit till October 31st, Halloween. That's going to be quite interesting. Now, look at dollar CAD. It's breaking away. The correlation with oil is completely broken down. Terrible price action here around trend lines, and it's moving against the whole, momentum of that oil. Sorry, just looking at something else. So when you come back and have a look at the major data that's coming through, I mean, here's the US numbers, which were getting flaunted. Now, when the media hasn't got much to write about, they'll write about anything. This gives them something to write about, like, yeah, we've got strong job data, we've got good PPI, good inflation. All of a sudden, the picture looks really rosy for the US. So don't get sucked into the noise. Here's the dollar index below it. It's just trading sideways. The interesting thing here is dollar China, okay, the US dollar rallying there. I can see this thing up about 20 cents at least. I think there's a pretty good opportunity here to get into dollar China. It's probably going to come around obviously around more information around the trade tariffs or the trade agreement with the US and China, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. All right, so there's not a hell of a lot to look for. I wouldn't be getting overly excited and sort of jumping up and down. In saying that, it's quite often when there isn't much happening, like we've got Euro sort of still down. Don't forget, Draghi a couple of days ago came out and said they're ready to do whatever it takes, and they got all these surprises. I'm surprised Euro isn't even lower. So this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. So even though I'm sort of saying there's not much happening, this could actually be the time where the market sits back and the currencies just move to where they should be. Okay, that's the Euro lower, Aussie lower, and the Kiwi lower. Okay, they're the three pairs which have a fundamental central bank sentiment which is down. So that's going to come back into play at some stage. And, the dollar, it's just churning, waiting, biding its time at the moment as we wait for more activity. All right, guys, that's it from me. I'll see you in the 247 trade zone. As I said, just take it easy. When you look through the data coming out, there's some trade balance numbers apparently coming out of China. Just keep an eye on those late in the Asian session. And then we cruise through the North American session. As I said, there's not a hell of a lot to be guided by, but just keep an eye on what is coming out. That could be where the answers are. All right, guys, have a good trade day. We'll see you in the 247 trade zone. Cheerio.